Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 73 of the Seercast. I am ePiKnight, and with me today is Fang.
Menaphos!
I'm not sure. I think Menaphos might be an update next year.
Menaphos!
Kitten.
Hello.
Ernst.
Hello.
Runic.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
And Walter is here in chat, as usual. Today we are going to be going over Runefest stuff, some of the September updates, and looking forward to the October BTS. So, since Runefest happened, what, 2 weeks ago? Last week? 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. It was
2 weeks ago, and then last week was bonus XP weekend, which is why we didn't have a podcast. But yeah, so a couple weeks ago was Runefest, and as usual, they gave a bunch of future updates, stuff for us to chew on.
Interestingly, they gave actually a lot less updates than they usually do. They've been keeping a lot of stuff back, and I think that's for the better.
Yeah, I mean, they've done, the past couple years, especially this last year, they were super, super, super open about their updates. And it really did mean that nothing was a surprise. Everybody knew everything that was coming ahead of time. And I don't want to say it detracted from things, but there was no surprise. Like, oh, this is such a cool update. I wasn't expecting this.
Exactly. Yeah. I do think they have reasons for not telling you things beyond just that. I think they're planning to do another summer summit, but have it be more about the updates we didn't talk about at Runefest.
Yeah.
So there's some ulterior motives there, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I like not knowing what's in the second half of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that it's like second half of the year is because we generally know what was coming from the first half, because they're developing it now, and they've been talking to us about the process for a lot of these things. They're also switching up. Go on.
It also helps that what they announced at Runefest for the second half of the year this year, most of that got canceled, so that's probably another big part of why they're not.
Yeah.
The latter half of next year already.
Yeah.
Farewell Raids 2. Farewell.
Yeah, well, nobody needs that. Sorry, Runic.
Yeah.
But nobody needs that.
Come on!
We've talked at length about how they've massively oversaturated with bosses this year, and
Yeah.
Honestly,
and they're not stopping next year.
Oh yeah. And the only thing we don't get is more raids.
I mean, I guess
That's the only thing I want.
well,
Now, I would love some more Mazcab. I just don't necessarily care about the raids themselves.
yeah. I think that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the things that they're definitely doing in 2017, they're going to do a bank rework, which somehow made it onto the top of the survey. Like, what? Really? Really, people? Really?
I'm convinced that people just actively do not organize their banks or don't Google how to do it or think of a method of doing it.
Why
So
would
it's
you?
Now,
this needs to be done
what I
for-
do appreciate, this bank rework is doing a lot more than just how to organize your bank. The placeholder stuff, I think that's
Yeah, placeholder
unlimited
stuff is
tabs
nice.
will be really good for organization as well. So
Yeah. I mean, having one tab for every skill is something that I've always kind of wanted, so that'd
Absolutely.
be nice.
Yeah.
But I don't. But really, first on the voted first.
Yeah,
Come on,
that
people.
really surprised me.
Yeah.
I was surprised it beat really anything else on the list.
Yeah, I didn't
It
vote
beat,
for it
like,
at all.
I'm more shocked that construction didn't place any higher than it did. I mean, it did
Yeah.
high, but agility beat it. What the fuck?
Well, I'm not surprised that agility beating. Agility is probably the most hated skill ever. I mean, it's a little bit less so now that Prif makes it slightly
AFK,
more bearable, but it's not exactly AFK. It's closer.
Nothing news. 1.2 mil till I max.
Yep.
Agility.
Woo!
On topic. Very on topic.
But yeah, the agility rework was second. Weather systems, which is something I definitely voted for. It looked really cool, and it's just like, I wonder what they can do with this. That placed third.
And it continues to look really cool because they have announced it.
Yeah, to nobody's surprise, Slayer skill to 120 came in 4th.
What's really funny about this
Grumble,
is
grumble,
2 out of the
PDM,
3
grumble,
updates
grumble.
I gave a 0 to on the survey were announced for next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
That being Slayer skill to 120, the pet thing also gave a 0 to something else. I don't remember. Oh, I think it might have been the solo boss. It was something else. And yeah, 2 out of 3 of them were.
Yeah, I don't remember what I put 0s and 1s as, but I was not very high on Slayer skill to 120 just because of the way that the Slayer critters have been coming out recently. It's just I don't have much faith, but maybe they can restore my faith. Who knows?
Now, I'm not against new Slayer monsters,
No, I'm
especially
not
after
either.
they announced that they're nerfing the level 96 Raptor mobs. Thank God, because they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worries me because of the way they were describing these new monsters about how they basically be mini bosses. That's not what I do Slayer for.
Yeah.
If I want to fight
that's the
bosses for
thing.
Slayer, I'm gonna do Soul Reaper.
Yeah, exactly. It's you take what you already have. I don't see the point in making some like ridiculously powerful monster with some ads and saying that that's Slayer.
Yeah, no, that's not cool to me. I was okay with the idea of doing a Slayer Elite skill, which was something they presented in the poll.
Yeah.
But I think just bumping Slayer up to 120 isn't really.
Oh, I forgot about that. Slayer Elite skill would be significantly better than 120 Slayer.
I don't know what they would do with it.
Yeah, it's like, what would they do?
But
But
to make it different from Slayer. But just adding 21 extra levels of Slayer doesn't help anybody. And with this whole new, Elite skill XP curve, completely ignoring that for, we're bumping Slayer up to 120, guys. It's really stupid.
Yeah, I don't know.
By that.
Yeah, it seems kind of strange, but again, it's like, apparently it's super, super popular, so...
Yeah. I think the other big issue is I think Slayer has a lot more issues in its, level curve right now.
Yeah.
From the way monsters are unlocked, the things they drop, how useful or useless a number of
the
monsters.
drops. The drops.
I would be a lot more interested in seeing them take 1 to 99 and completely rebalance it before going to 120, and it doesn't look like they're going to take the time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it might be interesting, like, but it would piss people off, is if there's like a band, like, within, it's not like each Slayer master assigns just certain things, it's the Slayer requirement that is for a particular monster, like you have to be in a specific band to get that task, but it piss people off, and so they'd never do it, and it just then the huge problem is
I did have 2 thought points on ways to kind of improve low tier Slayer as well. One is take like the level of like the weaponry or the armor the mob is dropping, and kind of band them into a Slayer level tier around that weapon. So like, level 96 monsters should not be dropping, or level 95 monsters should not be dropping level 75 armor,
Yeah,
for
that
Danos,
was thing.
like, and like the Ripper demons are level 96 but drop a level 85 weapon. Like, what's going on here? So I think it would make a lot of sense to take those monsters and kind of level them to be closer to the requirements of the weaponry that they drop. Similar to what they want to do. Yeah, similar to what they're doing with mining and smithing, where it's like, make the requirements make more sense for what you're getting. It would make a lot of sense to do that for Slayer too. Which of course is challenging with bumping Slayer up to 120, because it's not like we can get a level 120 weapon.
Alright, Kitten, go.
Sorry.
It's not important anymore. I was just the same thing as last week of what we were talking about, how they either should fix mining and smithing. I don't understand bumping Slayer before fixing those 2 skills when they promise that, but that's...
Well, they're fixing
anyway.
mining and smithing first, right? Slayer 120 is in June.
That should be the Duke's first update of 2019. So
that might fix some of it then.
I think it's supposed to be in March, if I'm remembering the schedule correctly.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was. It depends on what Jack is doing with it, because they've given the project to Jack.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Thank God. Jack is.
We'll see what happens.
Is who
but
should
it's
have it.
Coming. It's happening.
It's happening. But yeah, it is an interesting problem that is very, very similar to the mining smithing, except mining smithing was significantly worse, where it was level 40 gear that required level 90 plus to craft. It's like that just doesn't make sense. But
and then we've got like dragon armor in the 80s, so you're making level 60 armor before you can make level 40 or now 50 armor.
yeah, like this.
It's hilarious.
This makes sense. Said no one
Mhm.
ever. But that's why they're reworking it, and they've known that it doesn't make sense for like ever. I mean, Jack did his little shtick on that like 4 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's been a while, and I'm glad they're taking it, what he said into account.
Yeah, for sure.
He's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's Slayer skill to 120. Also, new solo boss. I guess that surprises no one.
Nope, it looks awesome though. Comment on that solo boss. They have said on Twitter that they are changing it from just a solo boss to a 1 to 5 player.
Oh yeah,
boss.
it's a small party boss.
Yeah. People got really bitchy about that on Twitter for some
Oh
reason.
my goodness.
I have no
I
idea
understand why
what
though.
bothers them. Yeah, I get the idea. Like, well, some people were completely jumping the gun without hearing anything about what the update was, and they were saying that, oh, well, if it's 1 to 5 people, they're going to sacrifice mechanics. And I thought, no, they're just sacrificing damage output. You don't have to sacrifice anything realistically.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing. The survey came out before Telos was announced and released. So it's very possible that having a solo boss on there, the results are really skewed because players haven't gotten one since Araxor.
True.
So that was something that who was it? I think Ollie mentioned it. He said that was something they were keeping in mind when designing it. Is that people didn't know about Telos and Telos wasn't out yet.
That's smart.
These results were rolling in, so it's something they want.
Yeah, that's
still happening. They're
very
not
smart.
just going, well, we're not going to make this since we just made Telos. They're going, oh, we're still going to make this, but we're going to think.
But they're not in. But that's not in combination with 17 other bosses. At least not that we know yet. But yeah, so new small party boss, new Slayer dungeon, which looks really interesting. I like the way that the loot works for that.
Yeah, it's part of Menaphos, and it's also part of the Slayer skill to 120.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
some of the mobs in there will be above level 90.
Apparently, they're all on the same Slayer task, which is interesting.
Yep.
It's like a gradiated. Is that a word? It is now.
Yeah.
It's the dungeon works on like a gradient from lower level to higher level, and basically ends in an Order of Ascension-esque Slayer boss.
Yeah. You'll have to pick up some sort of key fragment that'll spawn in the chest once you claim your loot. I'm a little concerned about that, to be honest. I'm kind of curious how that's going to work, because it seems like the two systems play against each other a little bit. You don't get loot directly from the mobs, you get it in the chest in the middle. But if you want to go do the boss a couple of times, you gather the key fragments, you won't know until you get it from the chest.
Well, that's saying that there couldn't be so all of the drops other than the keys go to the chest.
Yeah.
And then the keys themselves drop with a loot beam.
Yeah, that would be fine.
And
I don't know how they're planning on doing it, and a lot of it seems like it's just, well, here's what we'd like to do.
Yeah.
So I can't get angry at that.
And keep in mind, it is Runefest.
Slayer dungeon in Menaphos. Yes.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is Runefest, and things are subject to change. Cue Church of You stuff. Lol.
You screaming about Rite of Passage.
Or that.
Delayed one further month.
Now add one further month.
Rip. But yeah, there's that stuff. Scrolling up. They're also doing player-owned farm and greenhouse, which is interesting.
That was one of the ones that was mentioned on the survey, but was not announced to be made. Same dice with the agility.
Yeah.
So it's one that pulled very high and just hasn't been announced yet. It might be coming.
Sure. Mysterious Continent. Okay. Clues.
Also not announced. I have a bit of evidence that it might be expansion 2.
Extension to what?
Teeny bit. It might. Mysterious Continent might be expansion 2 coming in September.
The second expansion, right?
Yeah, I found some interesting concept art that might be for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
As long as it's not Rite of Passage.
It is not.
And it's delayed another month. Rip.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Mysterious Continent Clue Scroll overhaul, that has been confirmed, because that was Old School got their got their, what was it, the master level stuff, and so
Yeah.
we're getting champion level scrolls that kind of do
Because
the
we
same
have to
thing.
one-up them.
Yeah, of course, because the two games can't exist concurrently and do their own thing. So yeah, clue scroll overhaul, skilling pets. Wait, we already got those.
Yes, Skilling Pets placed highly, and then they just decided to make them the same.
Yeah. Construction and player-owned house rework. That's badly needed.
Yeah, and it wasn't confirmed, though we do have some stuff from, I believe it was Mod Doctor in his tap time where he's doing work on that.
Nice.
He's been doing it for the past several months. He showed us that you can now add doors to any side of a room where you want. You can rotate rooms, move them around freely. You can even move the hotspots in the rooms to wherever you want them. And that's just what he's done in his tap time so far.
Yeah, and Doctor has proven to be a quality developer.
Yeah.
Definitely good to hear that it's him doing it.
Yeah, there's also some hints that he might have finished all of that work very recently.
Really?
Because when talking about quests for next year, or for the first half of next year, Osborne mentioned that there was another one that they have not talked about that is being done in a developer's tap time.
In before Rite of
Someone
Passage.
So Raven said he wanted to do Rite of Passage in his tap time, but knew it would be too large of a project.
Yeah.
However, somebody tweeted Mod Doctor asking if it was Elemental Workshop, and he was very coy about the answer, but it's very possible he might be doing it. Don't
get me.
Grain of salt, like giant bucket of salt here. You know,
take it with a giant bucket of sand.
Why?
Several buckets of sand.
Something like Elemental Workshop would be a fantastic sort of quest to be done in somebody's tap time because it's very small scale.
It is very small scale, and it's all about the puzzle. Like
exactly.
you can easily deal with the lore, and there isn't very much dialogue. There doesn't even
you could go
even
home
that
and
much
sketch out puzzles on a sheet of paper and then start coding it in your tap time.
Yeah, there isn't even that much graphical stuff. I mean, of course, the moving parts of the puzzle.
Yeah,
man,
but very minimal. So it made sense to me.
I don't want to get too hyped for Elemental Workshop 5, but oh my god, if that happens.
Yeah. It makes sense in context. Doctor seemed very close to finishing what he was doing for construction.
He did 4, right?
Yeah.
Doctor did 4.
No, Dylan did do 4.
Oh, right, Dylan
had
4.
left the company after 3, and then came back to help them work on NXT, and also developed 4.
Yeah.
Which was an awesome quest. So
yeah.
I have high hopes for Doctor, though. He's done some good work.
I mean, he did ports. Like, was it Ports Batch 2 or is it Ports Batch 1 or both?
He did Ports Batch 2.
Yeah, Moltaire did 1. I think it was Doctor did 2.
And then Rally did 3.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's stuff. Yeah, we briefly mentioned expansions. It's basically that when the second half of the year, the updates will get a much larger scale because they're going to, instead of like having all the scrum teams, it sounds like they're going to be combining a lot of so there's a lot more people working on one update. So instead of just the Watch or just the Dukes or just the Guardians working on, it's like 5, 6, 7 people working on the same update.
Yeah. From the information we have right now, it seems like the Watch is going to be split between the Guardians and the Dukes for expansion content.
No comment.
That is not confirmed, but Rowley has said Menaphos is a Guardians Plus project. So
no comment.
We're keeping the gang together, and then more people. So we'll see.
More people from the Watch.
I mean, to be fair, they've got Slayer in there. Like, just toss them on that.
This is true. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And the Watch do know how to make Slayer mobs.
Uh,
I will remind you guys that the Raptor mobs were made by Raven.
Raven's a terrible person, and he admits it. So that's fine.
Can we just say Raven was on the Watch for that project?
He was in fact part of the Watch for that.
He was part of the Watch on that project, but he was also the one who made all the mobs.
Okay, so it's still the Watch's fault.
It's still the Watch's fault.
The one mob that I think has like no bugs and is decent to fight is the camels, and that was the one made by Deg.
God damn it, Raven.
Further ironically, the camels drop nothing of value and are the worst XP of the lot.
Well,
So Raven made the super buggy ones that everybody hates fighting, but give really good XP.
and
And
Greg
Meg
made the one that...
non-buggy one that nobody bothers to fight because it's not worth it.
Rip.
It's
Well,
a weird world.
well, welcome to the watch. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Oh, man. That's too funny that that's the case. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
That is...
I think that was his last project before he left the watch for the Dukes as well,
Yeah.
which made things a little ironic.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, so that's the expansions. Apparently, it's like updates every 2 months.
Every 3 months.
Oh, right. Every 3 months.
Four expansions a year, we're getting...
So we get expansion, and it's like something Elf City sized every 3 months. June, September, December next year.
Like double Elf City size. We're not just getting the location with it. We're getting several major mini-game skill updates, as well as at least one quest, all launched at the same time. Not batched, not weekly, all one.
Well, yeah, that's Elf City. So Elf City being the Plague's End plus Batch 1 plus Batch 2.
Batch 2 plus Light Within plus Waterfall Fishing. That sort of size is what we're looking at.
Yeah, plus, yeah.
Further, I'll talk about it more when we get to Menifos. Carry on.
Well, I mean, we can just start talking about Menifos now, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that is the first expansion that they officially announced.
For the top stuff, we skip skill specializations, and that's
that.
To talk about them. So let's talk about Menifos.
Let's do that.
So we're getting a Krondys quest. Awesome. There are hints that we're getting more than one quest. Just throwing that out there. On the news post itself, below the Krondys quest, it says, "This quest is just one of the stories we're planning to tell you as you wander the city. You'll be talking to people, finding out more about the situation here, perhaps completing smaller quests."
I would not mind if they did one major quest and a couple bottle quests.
Absolutely.
Like, because the bottle quests have been a massive success, but they haven't done very many of them. Aside from Beneath Cursed
that a little bit,
Tides.
because Beneath Cursed Tides was an absolute travesty.
BCT, we're going to ignore that existed.
Call of the Ancestors. I didn't. And Tales, or at least the Arc's Tales, are essentially bottles. And they've been wonderful.
Yeah, and I mean, it's whether you call the bottle quest an actual quest or it's just a mini quest.
Yeah.
But, the port...
Even so, that
Arc stuff.
level of content is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
honestly,
I was going back over this year's releases. We're getting 12 or 13 Tales in 1 year, which is equivalent to maybe 4 or 5 quests worth of content.
Yeah. I mean,
which is huge.
Keep in mind that a lot of these, like the mini quests for the Arc, a lot of those are longer than a lot of quests in the game.
Yeah.
A lot,
Jet Hunter was literally just a quest called a Tale because it has really high.
Yeah.
And then the 6 Tales we're getting for Batch 2, Stu has called them a quest, but we split it into 6 parts.
Yeah.
So,
And it's going to have the quality of those guys all over it, so that's a thing, too.
Anyway, so with Menifos, we're getting the city itself all in one batch. We're getting all 4 of the districts. Apparently, a Masket is literally tearing Menifos apart. It's opening these things called Tombs of Menifos, which are giant, dangerous skilling activities. They give some of the best XP rates, but you don't get any XP if you fail. So it's kind of risky in that way.
Well, that's
the Krondys quest.
It's kind of like this, the way the skilling boss would have to be. So it's kind of like a replacement for that, which people have tried to make work over and over and over again.
Yeah, and I like this idea. So instead of being, you put your life at risk, it's about you put your time at risk. Which I think is a cool way of doing it, especially if they are very intentionally making this really a challenge, where it's you run the risk of failing if you're not good at it.
As long as it's not, I get screwed over by RNG. Then it would just be rage-inducing.
Yeah, no, even specifically on here, they say you jump into the tomb. Where is it? Testing. This is about testing your non-combat abilities, testing your knowledge, your gathering, your strategizing. So it's not about, is your RNG good enough? It's about, have you figured out how to progress through this in the best way?
And I assume that it's like you can go as far as you choose to go, and you can kind of pull out at any time. But the farther you go, the more benefits you get.
You get an objective, and you have to complete that objective before the tomb collapses, or you don't get anything. So one example they gave is gather these 20 resources before the time runs out. And
yeah, I guess
you have to. You get like an overview of the area, and you have to figure out how to get resources before you run out.
How to be the most efficient.
Yeah, they haven't. They really didn't go particularly into, detail on this, but the idea of dangerous time challenge skilling is really cool to me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's similar to like Tears of Guthix, except with actual danger.
Yeah, they described it as kind of like Pyramid Plunder as well, which I think is a fairly decent way of putting it. Like, that's a lot less risky per se, but it's really about hurrying your way through it while, getting every little bit you can.
Yeah. But yeah, so we mentioned that Slayer's skill cap is going to be 120 with Menaphos. Important to note for comp people that comp won't be... You don't need to get 120 Slayer for comp until 3 months afterwards, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
The way it's working from here on out is the launch of the next expansion is when comp Rex will be reevaluated. So every 3 months, basically. Which is great, because it kind of stops that rushed blow-through content to get your comp cape back as soon as possible, because you won't lose it for 3 months.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. It's nice for those of us who don't have comp capes, and will never get them. Rip.
I forgot. Does anyone in the Seercast have a comp cape now?
Kitten did?
Nope.
I did, but I have to do some quests.
Walter did?
Yeah.
And then I think like Telos and Raids came out, and then we both got screwed.
I'm not that far away from it. I just need 120 invention and to do something. Which I'm waiting for the nerf, since Military's announced he's nerfing it.
Wait, which nerf is this?
He's having the produce requirement for every single one of his.
Oh, right, for Livid Farm.
Yeah, so I need to kill some bosses, I need to get 120 invention, and I need to Livid Farm.
Yeah, that Livid Farm change is nice,
Magic.
to say the least. Also, you've got... you sound like you're in an aquarium.
I'm gonna mute my mic, my fan just started going crazy.
Sounds like alien abduction.
Yeah, it does.
Rip, bang.
Bye.
Sounds like you have been placed in an aquarium and are being spirited away. But, yeah, so, also interesting to note about other updates, bank rework will have a beta, so, rip nobody's bank, hopefully. They're also not updating clans, also rip, but nobody really cares. Mon Maz is apparently working on a rework in her spare time, but that's a massive undertaking considering how bad the clan system is now.
Yeah.
I have a lot of information about it that I'm not allowed to.
Fair enough.
Oh, why? Thank you, Fang.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us.
Go. Yeah. Thanks for telling us. Now go die in a hole.
Thank you.
Basically, Maz and Matt, he talk about it every once in a while in the Clan Leader Discord, and I'm just not allowed to say anything specifically beyond it's coming eventually, but it's a project.
Soon, trademark.
No, not soon. Not soon at all.
Yeah, well, that's why I said soon, trademark, aka never.
Yeah, that's a little more accurate.
But yeah, also the weather systems, so weather will hide or uncover content depending on what the current weather is, which is also very cool, depending on how they do that. What is the cycle? What is it, a random cycle? Is it a... how will that work? And that's very, very much Let's see how that goes.
Yeah,
I think the thing that excited me the most in the teaser image they showed was the zombie invasion of Al-Kharid during a sandstorm. The mummy invasion. That
Oh
looks
yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
yeah, that could be cool.
It's
I
all-
also like the magic tornado on the wizard tower, like it's sucking out of it or something. It's just there's a lot of cool ideas that they seem to see.
and it's interesting with something like weather systems, you could have kind of a, I don't want to call it best in slot, but like a very high XP kind of thing that just happens in certain fairly rare weather systems.
Yeah.
So
And it would create a
like a zombie invasion that would give some huge amount of combat XP if you did it for the however long it lasted. Not like combat is slow or anything, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I think that covers most of the future updates part of Runefest. We can dig into the lore stuff a little bit. I'll let Fang take the lead on this one though, because, well, Fang.
For the lore recap.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me just a second. I wrote up a whole thing for this. Convenient.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I went through the whole thing and wrote up like a TLDR, and it's actually really.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff.
We learned a lot from this. So first and foremost, let's see. Opened with scroll a little. There we go. Okay, so the first things they talked about were the rest of 2016. So briefly touched on Children of Ma. Basically, we're gonna get to see Zamorak trail thing. This current is, and apparently they're starting a new 6th Pillar Quest series with
the Majorat, correct?
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's Children of Ma, which is Fate of the then they talked about Slisky's endgame, so close. It's a lot more about just giving the Stone of Joss to the winner. There's so much more to do. Learn about interactions between the gods and their followers, and the outcomes will be very different. Who is Slisky's master? Nomad? Who gets the stone? This quest will finish the Slisky storyline, but also kickstart the next segment of the story. It's also a fully repeatable quest that allows you to change what your choice would be going into the quest.
But
see what other options there are, but your first playthrough is canon.
Yeah, that's important. So your first playthrough, do what you would normally do. After that,
first time.
And then fuck around for your next playthrough.
Yeah. Also, Fang, look at chat, please. But
Chat, hello.
But yeah, so that's Slisky's endgame looks good. We'll say that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that title though.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I suppose it says exactly all that it needs to.
Yeah.
At the same time, like
it's not particularly elegant. We'll put it that way.
It's a title that I expected to be changed and wasn't.
They were pretty clear that it was going to just be that the entire time. I was never expecting that to change. Fate of the Gods 2, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad that changed because that was
that would have been dumb.
Yeah.
I was actually worried for a good while that they were actually going to keep it as Fate of the Gods 2.
Nah.
especially since we didn't know the name of it until this month, like September. Like, I was getting a little worried. Like, we knew the name of the next Myreki quest months and months and months and months before it was coming out. Like, I was concerned. But oh well. I mean, if that's the name they want, that's the name they want.
Yep. But it doesn't have to have an elegant name, honestly. It's just like,
yeah.
But anyways, go on.
Yeah, let's see, next thing, they briefly touched on the Arc Batch 2. It's less comical than it was the first time, not that the first one was super comical, but a little darker than before. The main villain is this zombie ship called the Harbinger, captained by a woman named Captain Cora. There are 6 tails. There's a bigger focus on your crew and their explorations, so look out Akahi exploring Cyclopes, Jemmy bonding with Thalasis, Gully, they mentioned something about why no pirates, I don't really know why. Higgs's search for her brother, and apparently, if you've unlocked Flippers McGraw as your new crew member, they'll even have a little mini story in there for him too.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that a Higgs boson reference?
Higgs, no, that is actually it's an Assassin's Creed Syndicate reference. Evie and Jacob.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
I'm assuming Korra is just a Legend of Korra reference.
I'm not sure. They spelled it C-O-R-A, but even in my my notes, I actually put Legend of Korra ?
Yeah.
They also mentioned something about Stan's stolen item might not be resolved in this, and will be something for the skull, if that ever happens.
Confirmed.
And then lastly, they confirmed that Halloween has been moved outside of the Arc, which all of us will talk about later.
Yeah. Halloween looks pretty
Let's
cool.
see. Next, they started talking about other worlds. So they talked about Mazcab. They mentioned a couple translations, meaning Chantley meant home, Mazcab means prison. Hilariously, techie means to grind. They actually dropped some really cool lore for Mazcab here. They initially just kind of went light and said Mazcab was already dying before Tuska, and then they actually told us how that happened. A Gobi wasn't satisfied with just the kind of weird spirit magic that they have, and actually ripped elemental magic from the world and caused all of these anima leaks. Making matters even more interesting is I am 99% sure that's who talks to us through the strange glowing orb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
that's
would make
what
more
it seems
sense.
like.
Yeah.
I'm working on like a script for like a video about that, but it's not done yet. But
Soon.
it makes so much sense. Let's see. Mod Stu did this really, really long presentation on the Enchanted Valley that I
Good.
have knocked down to 5 bullet points. Basically, the Enchanted Valley is a home for dryads, nymphs, golems, centaurs, and it is a shard from another world that Saradomin saved. There are 3 real possibilities. He said one of them would be the fairy homeworld, which he has named, what did he call it? Shenanise, which is not spelled anything like it is pronounced. And I had to zoom in like 550% on the presentation just to be able to make out the way they spelled it on the board. The other possibility is a world called Renmark, which is the homeworld of the centaurs, or some other world that they're not talking about. One of these worlds was hit by a really bad tragedy, and Saradomin saved the shard, and these ideas are planned to be used in a sequel to Death of Chivalry whenever that comes around to TM.
Hopefully, Stu will get on that soon.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they'd let him do it this
Stu,
year.
please,
We'll see.
do it.
Yes,
Stu, please. Let's see, then they had Mod Raven talk about Infernus and Terragard.
He didn't talk about killing people.
Uh,
Then again, I guess Infernus kind of covers
Yeah.
that.
Basically, Infernus is a really hostile world with deserts and massive mountains.
To the surprise of no one.
Yep. Chthonian demons mutate by eating other things and steal their power. The world is really paranoid with a complex legal system, because who does it surprise that the demons are all lawyers?
This is when you put it that way, that makes perfect sense.
But it makes sense. I mean,
No offense to all you lawyers out there,
yeah.
But you're demons.
but you're demons. They eat people.
They talked a little bit about Dis as a city, because Dis City, and it's a
this city.
Oh my god, no. We can stop. Stop.
Resurrect this joke.
Can't wait for
But,
that to be a soundtrack there.
Yeah, really. That'll be our highlight clip. But
no.
Help.
It's a 3-layered city. The bottom layer is the lower city. The second layer is the upper city for like the elite demons, and then the third layer is the Scorched Keep, built on the ruins of the old citadel there. Apparently, it has 19 whole floors, and Grigar Sutzeroth is chilling on the top. They made it like the way they were overly specific about there being 19 floors. Makes me wonder if they're actually planning to do that Dungeoneering 2 suggestion, and it's going to be on Infernus. But that's entirely speculation. But it was
420.
there was just something weird about them being so overly specific. Like, yeah, there's 19 floors, and Grigar's on the top.
Well, well, I don't know. Like, there might be some significance of 19, like, in
Yeah,
demon
that's-
lore or something like that, that it makes it relevant to say there are 19 floors.
I haven't thought of anything, so it just came off as very odd to me. But yeah, apparently there's 19 floors.
Apparently there is
yeah.
that is relevant. Walter says
Ooh.
there are 20 years of war and 19 of them were not winning. So each floor got devoted to one tactic.
There we go. Thank you, Walter.
Oh.
So it's like this Tower of Babel of here's how we screwed up and now we put a monument to it.
More or less.
Right.
Cool.
Something like that. And of course, Grigar's at the top because he's, of course, the thing that made them win.
Yep.
Okay.
And of course, this is British floor. So 19 floors means there's actually 20 floors. So obviously the leader would be at the top on the floor that they won on.
Yep.
God damn it,
and then
British floor stuff.
If you thought he talked a lot about Infernus, boy, he talked a lot about Terragard. Original human homeworld, Seerdomen ascended here, has a ruling government based around religion.
Oh, that never ends.
I summarized this a little bit, but the way it was presented was there are currently 7 ruling families, down from the original 12 due to some knifey politics.
And they probably just went and killed each other, because that's what happens in a religious system.
Yeah.
We actually know of 2 of the houses on Terragard rather than the one we thought we knew. There is House Charon, who Oreb is the Magister of, who just this month suddenly turned up in the freaking Tales of Nomad. And then the other one is House Lasarkis. For those of you who remember Temple of Ikov, apparently Fire Warrior of Lasarkis was a Terraguardian Magister who controlled fire.
For whatever reason.
Okay.
Suddenly relevance.
Yeah, that was so strange to me. I don't know where that came from.
I'm not complaining. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ties things back, but just... What's the tie to Armadil, the Temple of Ikov? Like, what's the tie?
Magic.
It was just really weird.
Fire. Yeah. Actually, just fire.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we would find out more if we got Rite of Passage. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Just
Walter questions if it's the same person as the Magister or just a member of his family. Honestly, it's probably just a member of the family that happens to have the same name.
Yeah, Raven in the presentation said he was a Magister, but we don't know if a Magister is the leader or just a member. So he really could just, a Magister could just be a member of the family who is proficient in magic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Terragard doesn't use magic like we do. They all use it from a single power source. It's kind of magiscience-y. They manipulate the elements, so the Fire Warrior is obviously manipulating fire, Oreb is a Souls Mancer.
When the Fire Nation attacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
This magic source comes from the Schism, which is not an Elder artifact, and is a literal hole into the abyss. And it's also a portal. You step into the portal, it jacks you into the abyss, and then you can kind of travel from there. Apparently, the humans that Guthix brought to Gillinor are not actually directly from Terragard, but from a colony on another world that they formed using the Schism. But contact from the colonies to Terragard has been cut off pretty heavily. So I found that kind of interesting. Guthix hasn't actually been to Terragard, he just found some humans on another world chilling.
Just chilling. They're just hanging out.
Chilling, Apparently Seerdomen found new Domina by also jumping into the Schism. And of course, this is going to be everybody's favorites. The Magisters have seized control of Terragard in recent years, using the image and likeness of Seerdomen, and are ruling with an iron fist through terror and inquisitorial squad.
Gee, I haven't heard anything like that ever about Seerdominus.
No.
Huh.
Definitely not.
Gee, I haven't heard anything like that happen with religious government.
Yeah,
Ever.
Ever. Not ever.
What a creative idea. Yeah, that's just to be expected.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, they had Osborne talk about the last revision. Basically, the last revision, the Elder Gods have figured out, oh, we can actually die. And before the religion, of course, Frenesque was super
revision.
Pretty, the Elders laid their eggs there. Yeah, revision.
Not religion.
Before religion, Frenesque didn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The revision being, the last round before the Elder Gods ate it.
Yeah.
Ma's egg was damaged a really long time ago, or less her egg and more just her, was damaged a long time ago, and she slowly began to gain a fascination with creating life. Finally, that power went a little too far, and she ended up being stillborn. She was still alive, but just severely damaged. Jas created the Stone of Jas to try and fill in for Ma's missing power in their creation, but it didn't quite help, and planets ended up being worse than usual. The Elders split up for the first time instead of staying together so they could learn more about their creation powers on their own, and this caused that elemental path of worlds that we've heard a lot about. While going on her elemental path, Jas found the Dragonkin on the remnants of their homeworld, and they tried to attack her and steal the stone. So she fused them to the stone so they wouldn't want it anymore. Oops.
Rip.
And then the Elders reunited and made better worlds, having learned more about their powers and created Gillinor. Yeah, that's
some interesting Elder God stuff, and we're having an Elder God quest early next year, I believe.
I believe the first quest we're getting next year is a Bic quest.
Which one's Bic?
She is the one
ice?
who's sleeping under Entrana.
Water.
She's the
big
Earth
ocean one.
She's the Earth one, but she's sleeping under Entrana.
I thought
and
Jas was the Earth one.
Jas is the air. None of them are really actually elemental tied, but Bic.
I know that Wen was ice, or like that kind of icy whatever.
Yeah. So let me grab something real quick, just to confirm.
Yeah,
but,
that was the concept art that I think they showed of the massive turtle thing coming out of the water.
Yeah. Bic is
suddenly
of alteration
Voluta.
and of Earth. Jas is of. She is sand, air, and progression.
Okay.
Full is very obviously fire and consistency.
Yeah.
Or constancy. And Wen
is ice.
Water, ice, and inversion.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So for some reason they've tied the Earth one to water, but that is okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They tied the. I don't say they tied the Earth one to water because Wen was water, ice. And
But Bic being like even her pitch back when they were doing that poll about which six stage quest would you like, her quest was pitched as Bic in the Oceans.
Oh, fair enough.
So I find that kind of interesting. Not that I'm complaining.
Maybe it's creating land from oceans or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Their elemental ties are very weak. The only reason they have an elemental tie is those elemental paths and the type of worlds they made along each path.
Mm-hmm.
That being, Bic was making the more naturey ones, Jas was making the airy ones, like Abena, Full making the fiery ones, and Wen making the watery ones.
The icy ones.
Kind of how it worked out. Yeah, the icy, watery, that sort of thing. So, which is kind of an easy assumption that then Wen made Terragard, because it's really cold and harsh.
Yeah, so Bic is literally Mudkip.
Yep, literally. Quite literally.
Groundwater.
Yeah. They had a Q&A section, but there wasn't anything super big revealed on that. There was a wonderful troll from Mod Osborne. Somebody asked, is Menaphos coming this year? And Osborne, with a perfectly straight face, goes, no.
No.
You see, like, 3 of the J-Mods quietly cover their mouths and try not to laugh.
Because they know that in literally, 20 minutes they're going to announce.
He is lying his ass off.
Yeah.
Not even 30 minutes later, Osborne's sitting there announcing Menaphos with the cheekiest grin on his face.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was at work during the announcement, but apparently, Wahi had a source that told him that Menaphos was confirmed not for this year and was going on about it in chat. And then it gets announced, and he spent 5 minutes going, fuck.
Just hit the damage control button, help.
Yeah. Less about being angry about it and more like, how dare he lie to us. It was pretty great. The one interesting thing that came out about this, I think, was somebody asked, how did the Majoret deal with not having souls in afterlives? And they gave a super in-depth answer about how Kindred Spirits covers this a lot, and how Slisky is his major plan with trying to take our soul was less about gaining our world guardian powers and more about making sure that even if he dies, he goes somewhere, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was really interesting to me as well, just because like it's new. It's a new concept for Slisky that goes beyond what we like originally thought about him.
Yeah, this is gonna sound stupid, but it makes him sound more human.
Yeah, it does,
You know
because
what I
it's
mean?
like
It really
what happens to me after I'm gone. It's that question.
He cares about his legacy and wants to make sure he has some way of continuing. And the fact he wants to steal from us to do that, you know, is a little nasty.
I mean, that's perfectly Sliskian.
Yeah, it's a very vulnerable idea for him.
Hugina.
It's very cool. Yeah. And that was the lore section. I hope I did that about as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, there was a lot. So, and it wasn't like
long session. So.
It wasn't like there was a lot of in one topic too. There was a very, very broad.
Yeah. We got a number of world discussions, talks about 3 major updates for the rest of this year, and a fairly long Q&A section too. So
yeah,
it was a lot of really interesting information.
Yeah, the world stuff is super interesting to me personally. I love the concept of that stuff, especially with the Enchanted Valley and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's just
I love
so
how Stu
interesting.
just casually drops the names of 2 new planets we've never heard of.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he starts talking about Renmark, and then he like stops himself and goes, "Oh yeah, you haven't heard about this. Renmark's the homeworld of the centaurs."
And it's probably complete with or was that in the Q&A part of it too?
No, this was during his presentation on the Enchanted Valley.
Oh, so this was planned. Okay, I was like, it would have been even more impressive if somebody like asked a question about it, and then he just kind of rattles off two more planet names, and just like, right, you guys don't know about this yet.
Well, the best part is he mentions 3 other worlds and then cuts himself off and kind of goes, well, we're not going to talk about these ones right now because we don't know if we're going to use them anytime soon, and then just doesn't give us the names of them.
Wow. God damn it, Stu.
So they have a lot of other worlds idealized out there, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. They can...
Oh, not
I mean,
at all.
you can really imagine an infinite number of worlds that just kind of have different things in them, because we don't know exactly how long the Elder Gods went on their respective tracks. There could be 15 worlds like whatever the Enchanted Valley came from that are just in varying stages of disarray or even purity, honestly.
I really like that they're continuing to come up with ideas for worlds too, because once the world gate got plopped down and we got all those symbols, it kind of felt like, well, here's our multiverse. Have fun with it. So it's good to know there's still stuff out there that we're not aware of.
Yeah, and then
it
gives them always add
it gives them
stuff.
Room to make content with that stuff too, because it proves they're not limiting themselves with the world gate.
I still want to go to the Dragon Rider homeworld.
Yeah.
Gimme.
Yaya. I'm gonna call it Yaya because that's just kind of fun to say.
Did we ever figure out the exact pronunciation of that? I thought it was Yaya.
I thought it was Ayaya, but I kind of like Yaya. That's just really fun to say.
Yaya. But yeah, anyways. So that pretty much covers... Haha. Oh, jeez. Pronounced haha. Fair enough. Alright.
Support.
But yeah, so that pretty much covers what we wanted to talk about Runefest at length.
Oh, one more quick shout out. We're getting an Evil Dave bottle quest.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of hilarious.
It sounds amazing.
They mentioned something about body swapping, and I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen because it would be Evil Dave body swapping into Zamorak, and that's just horrifying.
Oh god.
The rest of it seems pretty good. I really wanted Evil Dave to be in in Dishonor Among Thieves, so I'm glad we get a Zammy Evil Dave thing somewhere.
Yeah.
Quick mention to the pet park as well. It's like Miscellanea, but with all your pets. And then also we're getting Shattered. Yeah, we're officially getting Shattered Worlds, and then we're also getting achievements, which is like general game achievements and not just the task stuff. And that's Runefest.
So basically, titles, except
lots of titles.
achievements. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, yeah. So that's Runefest. Runefest happened. There a lot of stuff. I mean, this is where we get all the good juicy stuff. But it is worth noting that this was probably the lightest Runefest in terms of stuff. Or maybe it just felt like that to us because a lot of it was 120 Slayer, PVM crap.
See,
grumble, grumble, grumble.
I agree with you for the most part. It felt like they announced less, but went into more detail about those things.
That's true.
I'm fine with.
And part of that's probably because of them keeping the last two expansions of the year pretty close to the vest right now.
It's not even just expansions 2 and 3. Rally has straight out said that there's a lot more coming with Menaphos, and they're simply not going to talk about it until it gets closer to release.
Yeah, that's
so
probably good.
They're telling us about 3 things, and he said there's a lot more than that.
Yeah, and it really lets them kind of finalize what exactly they want to put in, and then tell us, as opposed to kind of doing what they did with Prif, where it's like, we'd like to do this and this and this and this, and then this and this got taken out, and then replace it with something like this, and it's just like, yeah. It's kind of confusing for those trying to follow around. When it actually comes out, it's like, okay, so wait, what are we exactly getting? But, yeah. So, anyways, that is Runefest. Runefest is a fun thing. But there were other things that happened in September. Well, not very many, but there were other things that happened. Dag King's rework happened. Does anybody do that, Runic?
Nope. Ask Walter.
All right.
Not even me. Ask Walter.
Walter.
Yeah. No,
Walter did it.
Only Walter, the only player in the entire game to continue doing Dag Kings.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
The value of the drops is actually up a little bit. They're just there's not much to it.
Yeah.
The way the drops are given make them look really valueless, but they do actually give more gold than they used to. It's just the stuff people did Dag Kings for, like water talismans, are much rarer now.
Oh yeah, I saw that the stack of 100 water tallies that you would get is now a stack of 6. So
yeah.
That was the best drop the Kings had. Like it's better than all their other drops.
Exactly. I think the other big disappointing thing about this for me too was they reworked the Dag Kings and their cave, but didn't rework the Dagonoths and the rest of the water birth dungeon.
Yeah, they all look like little.
You go
little
through this what ugly dungeon, get down there, and then enter this beautiful arena with these neon Dagonoth kings.
Yeah, about that.
And then just to make things even more weird, instead of working on the rest of the dungeon, they went and did 3 wilderness dungeon reworks instead.
Yeah. Well, I guess
riddle me this.
Fair, they are. Oh.
No, go on.
Oh, well, just say to be fair, like all of the wall kits they use in the dungeons have been used elsewhere, so it's not like they did completely new environments. But yeah. So.
But they could have done that for the water birth dungeon instead of the random ass wildy dungeons.
That's kind of what they did with White Wolf Mountain. They made a White Wolf Mountain, and then all the ground textures are stolen from other places. Which is awesome. I
don't mind them doing that. Like, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Like, if they can make an area look better and steal graphics from somewhere else, I don't care. As long as it looks good in the area and the area actually stops looking like utter trash, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Kudos on them for actually doing that, but I wish they'd done the rest of it too.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do the Dag Kings, it feels like you should be doing water birth as well, and instead of 4 and 3 lava maze and deep wildy dungeon. Because, I mean, let's be honest, how many people go to any of those?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Less than 1 person.
Less than 1 person. They don't even.
I will say, there is one reason to go to the lava mage dungeon, and that's because you can actually make use of the KBD damage boost now without putting so much at risk, because you can walk up there with nothing on, use the bank right next to it, and then enter. So, you know, there's that.
Perhaps. You have to go to the lava maze for penguins. This is true. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
But you don't
You
go
don't have to
into
go
the
into
dungeon.
You don't go into the dungeon for that, though. You just go in the maze, and that's fine looking.
The maze has been looking fine for a couple of years now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand why they did it. You know, they're doing all of this wilderness-focused stuff for the last couple months, but... whatever.
Still dead content. Speaking of dead content, deathmatch happened.
Oh.
I like deathmatch. I'm one of the few who will sit here and defend it a little bit.
All right, well, go and defend it.
It's PvP. It's safe PvP. That's really all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind safe PvP.
Jagex has made a safe PvP arena that is actually worth playing because of the rewards.
Yeah.
So that's nice. It also helps that they're doing some patches next week to kind of fix up some of the obnoxious imbalances and issues with things like overloads. So hopefully that'll help out too. Yeah.
Yeah. Walter takes offense to you saying that there are things that are worth it.
The wilderness teletabs are nice. The unlock itself, rather. There's some cool cosmetic titles that I think are hilarious. The tier 1 rune pouch, especially once it's fixed. The hybrid gloves are shockingly good, actually. They're really good tank gear. Use those. And I think the Ooglug flasks, if they were priced better or weren't instantly destroyed, would be incredibly valuable. So I like all of those.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. But yeah, deathmatch. We talked about that a bit last time before the release, and so now you have a little bit of post-release info there. Also coming out is the Tale of Nomad. So that's the interesting lore bit from this month. And
Yep.
we have Zanuck now able to leave, which is nice. Unless you killed her because you're a monster or you're a Shiraki.
Well, that's
Now,
basically the same thing.
I
Fair
do
enough.
find it weird that if you didn't let her go back to Soul Wars, she isn't in the Underworld. Like,
Yeah.
why is she not there?
Yeah, that's strange.
But beyond that, yeah, her new dialogue's kind of nice. The flirt thing is weird, but the monthly quests things, Raven made them sound like they'd be a lot more lore interesting than they actually are. But you know, whatevs. It's just extra cool flavor.
Yeah.
The month 2 one is hilarious.
Yeah, month 2 is that Zanuck went to explore Karamja and
basically got sucked into one small favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it. One small thing.
You want me to kind of blaze through what Nomad's Tale stuff was?
Yeah.
I know a lot about this. Alright. Nomad's Tale. You see a creepy dude standing in the underworld, you walk towards him, he vanishes. A memory drops on the ground from Nomad. The mini-quest basically consists of you clicking memories, seeing static NPCs show up that details what's going on, and then getting a hint as to your next location. So, basically, Nomad was born in Edgeville. His parents were murdered by the Temple Knights because they were Zamorakians. He goes to Varrock and ends up getting recruited by a guy named Oreb, who turns out to be the Soul Magister from Terragard. Eventually, Nomad kills Oreb because he didn't learn Secrets of Immortality from him. Interestingly, sidebar, Nomad kills Oreb in the Soul Obelisk Temple before it seemed like he made it. So it seems like Oreb might have made the Soul Obelisk. So, fun fact there. Anyway, he starts kind of doing further research, is siphoning power from the obelisk, discovers Lucian's plans for an attack on Varrock and stops it after, beating up Dragath Nern somehow. Walter has a lot of issues with this. Apparently it doesn't make a lot of sense, and I can agree with what Walter's saying about this. Basically, it doesn't make sense how he was able to talk to Nern and how the tomb was still sealed and all that jazz. So it's kind of weird. Anyway,
a little inconsistent.
Then, Nomad stops Lucian's attack, which was an awesome piece of lore. I'm glad they made use of Varrock and all that for it. Starts serving Lucian, and then decides to start trying to kill Lucian instead, start siphoning lots of soul power, and then all they need to do, by the way, is add a Nomad's Requiem requirement to Ritual of the Majoret, and his whole story makes sense. But they haven't done that yet, and they need to. Lucian dies. Nomad joins a Kintra spymaster named Servile, and ends up him after he finds out that Servile has actually betrayed the Kintra and has joined the White Knights. Kills him in the Black Knight Fortress. Jeff catches up to Nomad at the Poison Wastes Divination Colony because Nomad was using divination as a replacement for soul power, and then everything we know happens to him.
Woo! Yeah.
TLDR lore with Fangride.
Yeah, it's an interesting pile of information about Nomad because we didn't really know much about him.
I gotta say, the fact they managed to take all of the absolute batshit threads that have been thrown throughout the years and combine them into something that actually makes sense really impressed me.
Yeah, they never cease to impress when it comes to tying together these random things that were like, this is not a thing. And then suddenly, I guess this does make sense.
Who was no one's master?
And
Everyone.
and then all of us just crawl back into the lore forms of like, I guess we were wrong. Feels bad.
Yeah. Oh, one side note. It's very likely that Oreb is still alive because the sinister stranger that we see at the start and the end of the mini-quest is wearing the same thing that Oreb is wearing in the quest. Or in the mini-quest. When we see him. So, either it's Oreb's spirit somehow in Gillinor's underworld, or he is still alive.
Woo! The Hall of Gillinor was Nomad's master.
We all knew kind of shit at killing things.
But yeah, okay, well moving on. Nomad hard mode, how much have you done of this, Runic, I guess, or Walter?
I've done it quite a few times, but I haven't beaten I think it's 8 minutes, which is the fastest time, but I've done every time all of them. It's pretty good overall. The only thing that's annoying is that there's no passive way to mitigate Nomad's damage because no overhead works until phase 4.
Which is apparently ow.
Oh, it is very ow because he keeps hitting you with melee and keeps disabling your prayer.
Oh, it's that crap. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess phase 4, or his last phase, I guess I should say, never changes. Or he just starts spamming you with melee.
Yeah, more or less.
It was that way in the original, it was that way in the rework, it was that way in the
Elegy.
In Elegy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Overall it's pretty good. It is definitely harder than like Raxor. But yeah, it's pretty good overall. I mean, rewards are but yeah.
I mean,
people aren't really doing it for the reward so much as, the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, so if you can consistently get under 8 minutes, I mean, if the average loot seems to be about 1 million or so, I mean, that's not irrelevant income. I mean, that's like...
Honestly, like, if you're
8 mil an hour?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're decent at the fight, and you're able to, do him once a week, popping over there and not using a ton of resources, that's a nice benefit. It seems he drops Triskelion fragments decently often as well, or not fragments, full keys fairly often.
How many times can you kill him each week?
1.
Just once.
But you can reset him with a weekly D&D.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, so he counts as the D&D. Okay.
Yep.
Clearly, I have done this before. Clearly. They also added a currency pouch, which is nice.
Amazing.
Except, I'm sure they missed things that people have complained about subsequently.
Well, chimes were horrifically bugged for a while. That was pretty funny.
They didn't put in, was it trading sticks and the archery tickets from the ranging guild?
Literally unplayable.
That's because I guess that they were tradable or something.
Literally unplayable. But no. Yeah, it's a currency pouch. It's not like we've asked for that for, like, ever. Because it
so
really...
much bank saving.
It doesn't make sense to have 17 bank spaces occupied by, like, these random tickets. Yep. But, anyways, Okay, so that, I believe, should bring us to the end of September. How are we doing on time? Not well. Oh well.
Well,
Oh well. But anyways, in October BTS, we have mentioned Bounty Hunter. We talked about it last month since it was in the BTS last month. So we talked about it then. If you want to hear our thoughts on it, go back to episode number 72. The Arc Part 2 is the big update for this month, and from what I can see, it looks pretty good.
yeah.
There is so much stuff, and it all looks amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they've definitely, like, I don't want to say they've stepped up their act from Batch 1, because it's not really the same, because Batch 1 they thought was going to be great, but then the rewards were subpar. It looks like they've stepped up the reward game, which will get elitists, etc., to go over there and possibly stay over there for more than just get Comcate back now kind of reasons.
Yeah. They also have heavily bumped up the XP rates on existing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. Like, to the point where if you're doing mining on your Uncharted Isles, you will be getting more XP than crystallized granite. If you're doing your wood cutting on Uncharted Isles, it will be more XP than crystallized teak. If you're doing fishing on your Uncharted Isles, it will be more XP than waterfall.
That's-
Okay, so
huge.
That's
I
a
guess it's an
fairly
incentive.
large amount of XP.
I guess there's an incentive to actually find an island that has a variety, or depending on what you need. So
Yeah.
And they're bumping the amount of rare resource isles up from 2 to 3 to 3 to 5.
Oh wow!
thank God.
So
Thank
you
God.
can potentially get 2 hours of skilling on your islands with, anywhere from 3 to 5 different skills. Because you can only have, I believe it's up to 3 of the same type of resource on an island.
Yeah.
That's some huge XP. Like golden bamboo is up to wood cutting's up to almost 200k an hour. Mining is up to over 200k an hour now. Fishing is up to over 200k an hour.
Something
even-
power creep something
Yeah.
something.
And then even divination on your Uncharted Isles will be over 120k an hour,
Oh, that's pretty good.
which is great for div because its
Seems
current
good.
cap is like 99k an hour. Not
Yeah, it's not quick, div. But
Yep.
then again, I didn't have any problem with that.
oh yeah,
That's just that was
caches are in a league of their own, but
oh yeah, caches don't count.
Yeah.
Because cache is that kind of like super burst XP that
Yep.
a D&D is kind of supposed to be. That's what they're built for.
Yep, they basically burst you like 400 or 500k in a 20-minute period if you're doing it in a certain way, and then it's back to within just
That's what, every 3 hours or something? Every 4?
yeah every 3 hours twice a day.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, I had 99 long before caches showed up, so
Yeah.
I never
Mhm.
really cared about caches at all.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the Arc Rewards, there's a new Hunter outfit, so you can have maximum of plus 11% XP with the
Actually stick.
with the Actui stick. So that's nice, and Hunter is Hunter, so as Walter says, this seems fine.
Yeah, we're gonna break 1 million XP an hour for that.
Yeah,
It-
but it is Hunter.
And thieving will be the 2 skills that can break 1 million XP an hour, not counting invention now. That's cool.
Yep. Bone Picker is an upgrade to the Bone Crusher, which is nice for something like not Dragon Tasks anymore, because only plebs pick up Dragon Bones, but like
Yeah,
it's like for like Grar and stuff.
That'll be nice for that. Like
Yeah.
instead of leaving all your A root bones in the
Yeah, a root as well.
putting any effort in. Yeah, just stuff you're gonna kind of be mass killing that you don't necessarily want to run over and grab additional loot. It's very helpful.
Mhm.
And then combine that with the yak, and it's easy money making for the high quality bones.
Exactly.
Spirit Dragon Pet will now be an override, so you can have a dragon following you that isn't large and obnoxious. That isn't large, takes up like a 6x6 square and flaps incessantly. God, tricks. I like the idea of having a dragon pet, but like, come on now. Cost of supplies is reduced, moves the cap on supplies. Contract rewards will give more and be cheaper to re-roll. That's nice. XP lamps will drop more, and sale prices of gumbo and soup will go up.
The XP prices in the shop in Chimewise is going to be less expensive than they are.
Yeah.
Because currently they're insanely expensive.
Yep. The main islands will get fewer chimes per hour, while Uncharted Islands will give more, so that people will actually use Uncharted Islands. We talked about this a little bit ago.
Yeah, Mod Manti put together this really lovely thread that showed like the exact amounts you could achieve per hour if you were being super efficient, and chimes per hour are like way up.
Good.
Alea crab mining is 1,400 an hour instead of its usual like 800 or 900. And
Yeah.
Wabagong fishing is up to 1.6k an hour compared to the like 800 it is right now, which is awesome.
That is some serious relevant buffing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the islands themselves. Yeah, actually, there's only 2 islands listed here. Rip. Walter, why you no list the other islands? I don't remember all of them.
We're getting
It's
the islands that
Cyclosis?
once were turtles. We're getting Cyclosis. We're getting Goshima, and we're getting Twilight.
Yeah, alright, Twilight was the other one. Oh, we don't know much about the rest.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't know much about the rest. That's why they're not in the thread. Cyclosis has the priests. It will require this, having finished the Cyclosis mission in the player and ports. You get smaller salty crablets, which will be apparently less AFK and or last less time. They'll require 90 mining, just like the normal salty crablets. The island in general seems to follow an everything is bigger than it would be elsewhere theme. I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Elf City like pickpocketing has been added, which is nice. It's also been added to Waco.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 Cyclops gods that may or may not have been real. They represent the sun and the moon, since there apparently weren't enough jokes that the Arc is literally just Pokemon. Also,
I'm really looking forward to finding out my Alola.
Also, our 2-Mekin count is at 2 now. But wait, there's more.
Woo!
Yay.
In the Arc Journal system, we find that one of the other gods split themselves up into a bunch of pieces. So now we have 3 of them. So now it's 3 Mekin.
Oh man.
An upgrade from 2 Mekin. I blame Ernst for that one.
I have no regrets.
On the islands that once were turtles, you have a divination colony with good XP rates. They said best in game, I think.
Yep. 120k an hour.
You will be able to sell divination energy for chimes. You can also transform other types of resources into other resources, like transmuting, or make divine charges out of it, which basically means that you can sell the divination stuff you get from the divination colony.
Yeah.
Theoretically. Unless for some reason they made it untradeable. In which case,
Which would be very weird.
it doesn't make a difference,
That'd be
because then you
terrible.
could just
Yeah.
use it yourself. And
Yeah, I
then
was
it's
gonna
just
say,
not buying
You
it.
would go to invention and you go to your invention table and just make a divine charge out of it. It would be weird to have a different recipe.
Yeah. You harvest and return energy that's leaking from Moai heads. It'll require level 90 for the standard, but there'll also be level 95 energy as well. That will be higher quality, best XP in game outside of caches.
That's just on Uncharted Isles. 95 one.
The 95 is on Uncharted Isles.
Yeah, the 91 is on Islands That Once Were Turtles. I think it's also on Goshima. There was an image that was posted of the journal thing that we get, and it mentions divination on Goshima.
Mm-hmm.
probably Twilight as well. So these new skills are kind of popping up on most of the islands.
Yeah. As for farming, rip bank space again. There will be 15 more varieties of mushrooms because reasons. You'll need 86 for new berries, which they are being coy about how you use them. Level 90 required for low tier mushrooms, level 94 for higher tier. They'll be required for various soups and stews, different mushrooms, different islands, etc. Then obviously they'll be put on Uncharted Isles with their better version. They're also adding an Arc journal system, so we can see what we need to get done and check contacts and stuff. A bunch of new birds you need to find for Odd Billy, an Avianzi on Cyclosis? Question mark?
Yeah, we're not really sure where the dude is.
Seems
like it was Cyclosis.
Different birds will have different means to find them. Some are randomly found on main islands. Some are attracted to different types of resources on uncharted islands. The journal system will keep track of the berries and mushrooms you've found. You have implings for the Arc that apparently look like jelly beans with masks.
I just read that line and started chuckling before you said it. That's really accurate.
An Eastern land god split themselves up into a bunch of pieces. I already mentioned that.
We have the three McKin.
Capturing all of the spirits, so that's what basically the spirits are, is that Eastern land god that broke himself up. Capturing all the spirits will give Hunter XP and unlock the option to give triple XP or double loot.
Just like the normal implants and stuff.
There are 6 new mini-quests. We mentioned that briefly. The Harbinger has 46 cannons compared to our 0, but because we are us, this is a fair fight.
It is completely fair. We're just going to steal all of their cannons.
Yeah, I mean, that's what thieving is for, right?
Exactly.
Osborne called it a zombie ship in the BTS. There's a bunch more castaways to find. Rewards to completing said journal are cosmetics, pets, woo, kami masks, 3 new titles, also woo. Apparently there's also a hidden title. Have fun, guys!
Yep.
Hey.
NB4 found on day 1.
Yeah, really.
Or
Instead of
it's
just
like
catering to
glitched.
just Petscape or just Titlescape, they have committed to committing to both Pets and Titlescape.
That is some high-level commitment right there.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's cosmetics and the Kami masks, so there's some fashionscape in there, too.
Yeah.
Well done, Jagex.
They've hit the trifecta on this one.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
Montana would be proud.
She would be proud. And then they make seagulls drop feathers, and then she's sad. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the Arc from what we know.
Yeah.
There's other stuff that they've added. Again, we don't really know a whole lot about 2 of the islands they're adding, so we will learn more of that. It comes out in a week and a day.
Yeah, comes out on the 10th.
Yeah, it comes out on the 10th. We're recording this on the 2nd, so.
Yeah, the only thing we know about Goshima is it's dark, stormy, and not very friendly.
Yep, bad guys.
And then
Heads up.
We know Twilight has a cool castle in the middle.
And yes, I just made a McCree reference. Anyways. But yeah, so that covers what we want to talk about with the Arc. Looking forward to that. Arc Part 1 was nice. Had some flaws. For those of us who aren't generally XP prods or whatever, it was a nice place to hang out, etc. But this seems like there's rewards to back up the nice place to hang out, so that's good. Yay!
Yeah.
Anyways, last thing we want to talk about is the Halloween event, which is effectively what would Invention be like in Dimension of Disaster. So this is Invention of Disaster, also featuring Mini Zemo.
Can I take a minute to talk about how hilarious it is that this month the two things the Guardians are making are both kind of Avernix ideas.
They're both what?
Avernic
Oh,
ideas.
God.
They made the Arc, and then he suggested Dimension of Disaster Falador, and so they're doing Dimension of Disaster slightly north of Falador instead.
Slightly north of Falador.
Oh man.
Oh, God. Avernic, you didn't just hear that. We did not just credit you with these 2 updates.
We can really just blame him for this whole month.
This is fair. Okay, we're not going to credit, we're just going to blame.
Yeah.
God damn it, Avernic. But, yeah. I never even thought of it like that. That's too funny. But yeah, so this is no longer going to be in the Arc. It's going to be slightly north of Falador. We will be working with Dr. Frankenstein to disassemble dead people because, okay. And bring animated creatures to life. Okay. It'll run for a couple of weeks. Rewards include a pet, because why not? And a lightning rod conductor hat. Because why not? It is invention after all.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've talked more about this, haven't they? I feel like they.
Nope.
No.
It came out of nowhere. We were all still assuming that the Halloween event would be on the islands, the ones for turtles, and then suddenly they're like, yeah, we're doing invention.
By the way, invention.
Yeah.
Which it is
Really
worth
came out of
noting.
nowhere.
Literally 0 people wrote it was their favorite update of 2016. Rip.
I think my favorite part about the BTS for this section was how Osborne started trolling everybody by going like, unfortunately, this event is locked behind invention.
Oh God, I saw that. I was like, I took him seriously for a second. I was like, well, that sucks for them. And then he decided.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a good one. It made me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, he played it off very seriously initially, and I was like, "That's an odd." Okay.
That's an odd requirement for a holiday
Yeah.
event. Oh,
Yeah.
God damn it!
I mean, I get you guys want to push your new skill and all. Yeah, no, it's a cool concept. I kind of like it. It's weird. But I
Yeah.
like it.
As long as there's not. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of is alternate reality, but as long as it's not as trippy as Dimension of Disaster kind of ended up being, it's good. But since it's a holiday event, I doubt it will be.
Yeah.
Then again,
Yeah, then again.
this is Jagex we're talking about. Who's actually developing the Halloween stuff?
Guardians did that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
They actually finished Arc Batch 2 early, which is why it's coming out on the 10th instead of at the end of the month. And so
Wait,
which
they
was the
finished an
plan.
update early?
Yeah, they were
What?
supposed to do the Halloween event anyway, but they finished the arc earlier than expected, and we're like, well, why don't we just do it somewhere else instead? So Adventure of Disaster it is.
I mean, they were the ones that made Dimension of Disaster, so
Yeah, I mean it makes sense.
yep. Stew. But yeah. I believe that covers everything that we wanted to talk about. I have kept this under 90 minutes. That was the goal. I didn't mention that was the goal, but that was in fact the goal.
Really quietly just say 2 words, bank bidders, and then
No.
And then
Okay, that is as much as we're going to talk about that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate
also,
thing.
just total side note, but Children of Ma will be the highest level quest in the game for 1 month, and then Slisky's Endgame will be the highest level quest in the game. So
What
that's
are the requirements for Children of Ma?
So Children of Ma's requirements are Fate of the Gods, the Light Within, and Song
Like,
Among Thieves,
level-wise?
among other things.
Or
We
did
don't
you
know
just
any
not
of the levels, but yeah, we have no idea what the level requirement. Just the quest required have 6 level 80s, a bunch of high level stuff.
Oh, okay.
They are also talking about requiring Koshei's Troubles mini quest, which is great because that means Ritual of the Majorat will be required.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be finally.
Yeah, finally a ritual
Finally
requirement.
Something.
Ollie seemed all for it, which was kind of cool. What's really funny about the Runefest presentation for both Fate of the Gods 2 and Slisky's Endgame is they basically just listed all of the quests, completely forgetting that some of the quests had other quests on the list as prerequisites. So it was a pretty weird long list. But then Slisky's endgame will just have every
literally everything is requirement.
Yeah. If there's a 6th age quest, it's on the requirements.
Yep.
And then they recommended Ritual of the Majoret, but if they put Gaucher's Troubles on there, it'll be required for endgame. So
yep.
That's awesome. Endgame will
just watch the Daemons listen to this and then realize, and like, nope.
What have we done?
What's funny is somebody mentioned, oh cool, Ritual of the Majoret will finally be required for a quest, and Ollie goes, oh good, it's been too long.
Oh, interesting.
So he seems very down for that.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I mean, what kind of quest? What's the max quest point at right now? It's like 370.
For a quest requirement.
Well, no, like what's the number of quest points that are currently in the game? Maximum.
383.
83. Okay, so that means that we're 113 over while Guthix sleeps, which was like the big requirement for that quest. The levels are useless, especially now, but it's that quest point requirement that's big. Then that's required for Majoret.
For that. 275 is the requirement for Ritual of the Majoret. Because you get 5 quest points from all Gothic sleeps, and it requires 270.
Yeah.
Technically. But, yeah.
And if it requires literally everything else in the game, you cannot do this quest unless you have a quest cape. Have fun!
On a really funny side note, they actually mentioned that they're taking Smoking Kills' combat requirement and removing it, which means while we're raising the maximum requirements and a bunch of other things, the maximum combat requirement in the game is going down.
Wait, what was the Smoking Kills requirement?
It requires 90 combat to complete.
Well, that's like 90 combat level.
Yeah, your
combat level 90.
So I find it so strange that they're removing it.
Well, but that doesn't mean that the combat level is actually going down, because whatever take requires 80 in all 3 major.
The lowest combat level you can actually get a quest cape at is 111.
It was 106 when I got mine. #nostalgia.
It was 84 when I got mine, I think. It was really low.
I don't even remember what it was when I got mine.
I only remember that because I was literally at the mid-level.
Yeah. I remember it because Robo managed to get it at the lowest level possible.
Or maybe I was 1 level above or something, but I was basically at mid-level.
Yeah.
That's why it took me 20 tries to do Nomad and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a painful fight.
Difficult. But yeah, it's nice to finally see some quest requirements getting bumped up and some high tier quests being required for things for once.
Don't be scared of hiding really, really end game kind of quests behind other end game quests.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was making me chuckle though. I was looking at something a couple days ago and I realized that if the Arc Tales had been real quests, people would be losing their shit.
Yeah, I mean they all have 90 plus requirements.
Yeah, it requires 7 90 or 91s. A bunch of quests, 2 different ports missions, the whole quest community would be having a brain aneurysm.
Well, rip the questing community, but it's not like levels are hard to get now, so
Yeah, exactly. I've been very eager to push requirements up a bit.
Yeah, it could easily be in the 90s now, just because of how easy, especially in a couple skills that are just obscenely fast. 90 cooking is nothing.
Yeah.
90 Hunter is a joke.
Well, 90 Hunter requires that you've done 90 levels of Hunter, and God help your soul if you've done more than that.
You're already required to do 96 levels of Hunter. Or 76, sorry.
Yeah, I know, but the difference between 76 and 90 is significant.
But, and then skills like farming are still at 65. Skills like runecrafting are still at 61.
Yeah, I was about to say runecrafting is still obscenely low.
Yeah.
And this is 5 years after the rune spam came out.
And the one that drives me, the one that seems craziest to me is ranged isn't even at 80 yet.
Yeah.
So it's There's like divination got to 80 before rain. What the heck?
All right. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
we should probably finish up now. Now that we actually are over 90 minutes, rip. Since we just like went off on tangents for 5 minutes. See, that's what we do here at the Seercast. We think we get under our allotted time, and then we start tangenting. Anyways, so we will definitely be back at the end of this month, hopefully, for Arc recap, Halloween recap, and November. Look forward at November. Until then, subscribe on YouTube. Find us on iTunes. The link should be in the description. Follow us on Twitter at Seercast. Check out our blog, seercast.wordpress.com. Anything else I need to plug? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Nope. I think that's everything. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good month.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Goodbye.